don't put your worth in the hands of somebody else.
If you got that itch that you want to act, or you think you can do it, go for it. Explore that passion for as far as you can go.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Paul Tully with the FYI podcast. Got a couple guests in the house today. I got two very talented actors, all around artists, lovers of the craft, and people of the world.
Yes.
I got Kayla and Jalen.
Hey,
What is up, guys?
Oh, living a dream.
Yeah, man.
Living
Just
a dream.
happy to be here today.
I'm happy to have you. So I want to say a little bit about how I met Kayla and Jalen. So FYI has started a new thing where we go out and we support shows that are happening around town. Mainly we look to support the up and coming artists. So we go to like local plays, music events, stand-up comedy shows. And what we do is we pay for our ticket. We don't look for comps. We pay for our ticket to support the local artists that are out there grinding. And we go see their work. We enjoy ourselves. And then after, we go around and just meet audience members. And we try to meet the artists as well. But a lot of times we're just hitting up the audience members and just getting to know who they are. And through that, we met these two incredible people literally 2 weeks ago. And by doing that, it's a way of us not just supporting people, but also getting FYI out there and getting people to know who we are and what we're doing, and that we are walking it, not just talking it. We're spreading love, we're supporting, and hopefully that's coming back. So that's how we got these two incredible guests. So I'm going to get to know them with you right now.
Hey.
All right, guys, talk to me. So you're both actors.
We are, yes.
You're married.
We
Yes,
are.
yes. Just celebrated the 1 year anniversary.
Yeah, just this last week.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That is, it's incredible. So did you guys, did you start jumping into like your acting career? Did you guys start off in Chicago or
We
did you
did.
come there? Okay.
Yeah.
So what was that like? Did you train anywhere outside of school? What's out there? UCB? Is that right?
Yeah.
Like,
a lot of the improv.
Second City.
Second
and
City.
whatnot.
yeah.
A lot of improv.
Did you do any of that stuff or no? Did you jump right into?
We did mostly a lot of theater because it is such a theater town.
Yeah. They got what, Steppenwolf out
Yes,
there, right?
Steppenwolf, Goodman, Victory Gardens, a whole
Writers
se-
theater,
like,
yeah.
You have your storefront, like hole in the walls, and you have the big regionals.
Yeah.
It's really a lot of theater opportunity in that town. And then they had,
Some film and TV as well. I know the city
limited
gets
amount, but-
limited amount. It gets the nickname the resume building city because there is, like I said, there is theater, there is film, there is TV, and it's not LA where you're going up against like stars and celebrities and everything like that. It's everybody kind of like on the ground, like working, hustling, doing this art thing. So it's easier to kind of break into.
I feel like the majority of the industry is that anyways, right? Everything's like who you know for the most part. I mean,
totally.
having the talent and then having the
Connections.
the community and the connections that lead you to. At least that's what I've been seeing and experiencing. It seems like everybody kind of, knows each other.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So then you guys navigate out west. You make the decision to come to LA.
We did. I've always wanted to come. I've always had the vision of living here and of really pursuing film and TV. But, I'm from the Midwest. I'm from a small town. It was never like necessarily something that seemed super like encouraged or possible at that time. It was always like, what is the thing that I'm familiar with? Oh, like in this town there's theater. It was always theater that brought me to the acting wise, communities and stuff. But I always would watch movies and TV growing up and be like, I want to do that too.
That's what I want to be.
I love theater. It's always going to be my first love, but I always just like, I want to explore LA. I want to explore the opportunity that the screen has to offer. He, not so much.
Yeah, I slowed it down a little bit because we got to that point in Chicago where we were making a bit of a name for ourselves, able to work pretty consistently. We had steady day jobs flowing in with income, and it was like comfortable living. Like, okay, we could be good here. And I know
You got a lot of good opportunity. He was picking up with theaters and the TV shows and things. Like, he was doing very well. So I don't blame.
Yeah, and my nature's like, okay, we're comfortable. Let's enjoy this for a little bit. But then the pandemic hit and kind of uprooted all of that. And we ended up moving in with your parents.
Yeah, we ended up
Galena.
moving back to Galena, my hometown, about 3 hours out of the city. We did just that, and we thought we were going to be there for 2 weeks, right? Because everyone was like, oh, the 2 week shutdown.
Yeah.
And it ended up being 2 years.
Wow.
Which was, quite honestly, that time that we got to spend with my parents and family, it was so priceless. Really, really beautiful. But during that time, we were really pushed to make a decision. Like, we no longer are paying rent in the city of Chicago. Like, we really can.
When is theater going to come back?
When is theater going to come back, right?
Yeah.
Like, the world has shifted, and our world was shifting too. So we decided that was the time to take the leap.
Yeah, let's go out west.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nice. Well, your family seems like, were they very supportive? Now, do you come from a traditional Italian family, like pasta dinners?
Oh,
Sundays
yeah.
Nice.
Oh, so much good eating.
So how was that for you? Coming
he
from
gained,
Mississippi?
a lot of weight.
Man, I
awesome.
gained so much weight. It was beautiful. It was wild because I remember during that time it was a tumultuous time in the country. Of course, you had the pandemic, you had like the Black Lives Matter movement, and all of that. And I remember even some of my friends from the outside was like, "Wait, you picking up and going to Galena, Illinois?" To move in with
a white family?
With a white family. It's like, what, you going to be all right, man?
Let's talk about some culture stuff. Because, I mean, you're coming from Mississippi, African-American.
Yeah.
I mean, what a different experience in life than you've had than you, Kayla, who's, comes from a Italian family in the countryside. I mean, that's interesting that you guys... I mean, has that been any kind of issue, not just with family, but just how's that been for you guys socially?
This is obviously a constant conversation that we have, but just a couple weeks ago, somebody may have asked us this question too, and we were just like,
It hasn't been an issue. If anything, it's been like the thing that's been bonded the families and bonded us together. I remember I don't know if I told you this, but I remember right before the pandemic hit, we had been dating at that point for going on like maybe 4 years or so. And I was thinking like, okay, I know this is the one. And I remember praying like, I just want to be tested. I want this relationship to be tested so we know that we can go the distance. So I was praying like, Lord, just give me confirmation through a test. Let's see how we handle an obstacle. And I know I'm going to go ahead and make that decision. Pandemic hit. We moved in with her family. I'm like, okay, Mississippi going to Galena, Illinois, black, white, Italian, there's all this stuff going on in the country. And it was the most seamless transition. I remember walking in the house and like her parents playing the same music my parents grew up with. They're big Motown heads.
Big time.
Mom's in the kitchen cooking, throwing down like some good dishes. I'm like, oh, this really feels like home. And even when it came up to some of those difficult conversations, what was going on with George Floyd and what's going on with so many that got rest in peace. The conversations were open and honest. Like the family, as they always were just like open to hearing my perspective, sharing their perspective, talking about issues with police. I mean, you got your grandfather stuff, who's a Chicago cop, and like was a Chicago cop, and
my uncle too.
Your uncle too, and like all that dialogue just flowed, and it was like all love and support around it, no judgment, I don't think once we got into any like screaming message or cussing anybody out, nothing like that.
Of course not.
Yeah, but I know from the outside you think like, oh, it'll be like this tension.
Not at all.
But not at all.
Did you guys ever have opposing views? Like, did any of your family have different opinions? Look, George Floyd. Definitely, I think the whole world could look and go, come on. But there were other there were other things going on in that hyper time, like with a lot of the protesting or looting or however people want to see it, that I think were hyper, controversial.
Absolutely.
And there's different sides, I think, that looked at it different. So did anybody see it like, no, I don't think these protests are right? Or was it always
In my immediate family, no, we're really
pro?
Very on the same page with things. And, you know, like Jalen said, the open dialogue was just rather constant. With some extended family, yes, of course. And that resulted in some really tough conversations. And when conversation was welcomed, I was always welcoming it. But yeah, of course. I mean, that's just reality.
Yeah,
that's real life.
And you guys were able to have them though, and still, or were there some that were just like, we're not going to agree. We're going to agree to disagree.
Some point, at some point, you know, you get to the point it's like, okay, we're going to agree to disagree. But like I said, one thing like I appreciate too, and it's just like nuance in conversation, and kind of like you said, I don't like single narrative. I like to look at all parts of everything, especially coming up from the South and then moving into a liberal city like Chicago. You get to see both sides of the fence, and you get to notice like people aren't just like bad or evil or anything like that. People have a reason for their beliefs, and like I like having nuanced conversations. Like the riot situation, did I agree that like going out robbing and tearing down everything was right all the time? Like, nah, I didn't feel like that was the right approach. But also I understand the anger and the trauma that triggers all that, and how like that you can't just say that's just wrong. It's like that anger, the need to do that is coming from somewhere, and like trying to get to the root of understanding that, and like having conversations around that, because we can all sit in the living room and be like, yeah, I don't know, destroying that store that person's been trying to like build up and keep going, like, nah, that's not right. But also that pain of watching another black body go down, like, what do you do with that rage when you feel like the country isn't doing anything about it? So like having those conversations, like where do you put that anger? Where do you put that need to be seen and heard? And then just connecting that to like the overall human experience. Like when any of us are hurt, no, we don't always make the most rational decision, but you want to be seen. You want that pain to be felt, seen, acknowledged in some way. So like having conversations like that to get to beyond the point. It's not about what color your skin is, but if you go down deep and just get to the human condition of it all, it's like we all just want to be safe. We want to feel seen. We want to feel heard. And if we can't get that, this is the result.
Yeah. That's powerful. I think the country needs that more and more, especially today. You know, everything is so heightened, and everything is. I think we're playing a really, really dangerous game in our country right now.
It's like the lack of critical thinking that I think has become a part of the culture of just
get
like
in your
the
camp
country.
And stay there.
Well, and also just, I mean, I'm not. This is no like attack on the news media or anything like as a whole, because we need to be informed and stuff. But now with the social media world and just everything, and how we are just go for the past couple generations, it's like the sound bites, and then hanging on to the sound bites and not using our brains to actually read further, think further, and not just like rinse and repeat, copy paste this idea and say it as though it's my own. You know what I mean? And not having these conversations, or being open to or willing to have them. I just think that's a sad place that we're kind of at.
Yeah. I think what we're saying is you're a model of what we want to be in America. Two people from completely different places, different nationalities, different races, that have come together, your family fully supporting. I'm assuming your family as well, fully supporting.
Definitely.
Like you said, you've seen the common ground. Her mom in the kitchen throwing down on some pasta and maybe a different food, than your mom. But you're right. You're right, Jalen. That's exactly what I've seen around the world in my travels. Whether I was in Arab countries, Muslim countries, whether I was in Asia, whatever continent I've been in, it's all the same. People want to have fun, be safe, make a living, enjoy their family, And it's like, it blows my mind that it's so hard for us to get to that.
It's so simple.
Yeah,
But moving to positivity, you guys have done it, and you continue to. So I want to commend you on
you.
being open enough to take those risks. And I'm sure you guys have both heard things from personal friends when it's like, oh, like, you know, like, oh, you got a white girl. You got a black guy. Like, what's that? And maybe some are more open and interested, and probably some are a little bit like, really? You know what I mean? And I think it's great that you guys, you found that. You found love instantly in that moment at school, and you've pursued, you've worked hard to see the world and to understand each other's side. So that's great. I think that's what we should all be striving to do. So get out there and get you an interracial relationship immediately. Okay, so we're in LA. Now you're in this is it. You made it to Hollywood. It's time to compete with the best of the best in Hollywood. How is it going? You've been here how long now?
Like 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Okay,
yeah.
so
2.5
how's
years.
that going? How are you guys getting by? Are you working? What's your hustles? What are your side jobs? I mean,
oh man, yeah, we definitely got to have the hustle going. But coming out here it's been a lot better than I initially expected. I know on my end, because I was always fearful of coming out here because it's like it's the biggest stage. Like you're jumping into the deep end. Like, can you make it? Can you cut it? And since being out here, I realized like, okay, yeah, I got what it takes. I know I came out and got a manager pretty quickly, just by happenstance. It's so random. I booked a series reg on a pilot. Still waiting to hear what happens with that.
Congrats.
It's the career has been flowing. Of course, we hit our hiccups with the strike and everything that happens
like
with that. That's put
right
some,
after we moved.
right after we moved, the strike hit. So the momentum hit like a stop again. But overall, my level of confidence as being out here is like, okay, I have what it takes. It's just going to be a matter of sticking with it, finding whatever I need to keep that engine burning to stay in this race. But far as the question of like, am I talented enough? That question's been answered.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, do I have the diligence to stick with it? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how are you? I always like to ask actors because, you know, for people watching or for people that are young and ready to go to college that are like, that might be watching you. I mean, but how are you paying the bills? How are you? I know acting's not covering, right? I mean, acting doesn't cover the bills.
No, not at all. Not even after like.
For me, I drove Lyft for years. I bartend. I was bartending this weekend. I mean, I'm still out there grinding. Like
Exactly.
We moved out here, and within 2 weeks of moving out here, I snatched up a serving job.
Okay.
And been serving at a restaurant. She serves there with me as well.
Nice.
When we first moved, I had a remote job working for the university, actually, DePaul. And that got me through definitely with paying the bills and whatnot. But then it was time to really be here and be present.
Yeah.
So I transitioned to serving at the restaurant and making an amazing group of friends and being social and starting to build that community and also meeting people every day.
Right.
Like,
it's
who
part of
are
it.
It's part of it.
Just,
It's
it's
the
part
grind.
of it. And like, I just started a job at the acting studio where we train at. And
Nice.
like, I'm doing that and I'm working at the restaurant and I've been a nanny and I've been a director of a program. I mean, it's like the levels and the randomness of these ways to make an
Stay
income.
afloat, yeah.
It's just life. And it actually, like, reflecting on it, there's nothing wrong with it. I think it's actually a really unique way to live this experience as a person on this planet. Like, getting to dabble in this, dabble in that,
Absolutely.
use different skills on the daily. And that's not, it's kind of like a glorifying vision, take of that, but there is positive in it as well as the like tiredness of like the hustle and grind.
Constantly, everything I do in my life is to continue to create. You know, I'm directing a play. We start rehearsing next week. I'm doing the podcast. My film, Murder Motel, just sold. It's on Amazon right now. And I'm constantly figuring out how do I keep creating. But what do I do on the side? I have a bartending company.
Yeah.
I bartended this weekend. You know, everything.
Yeah,
You know,
for
everything I can to continue to make money.
Having the day jobs and the hustles, like having that steady flow of income gives you that freedom to go out and do that. I remember when I moved out here and started working at Granville, a lot of the homies was like clowning me a little bit. It's like, you the only guy on TV I know that works a day job or like want to work a day job. But it's like this field is so inconsistent with income. Like it's so many ups and downs. I mean, just look at the strike, the pandemic. You never know when that next check is coming. So for me, like if I have a steady source of income from the restaurant or whatever hustle job you're doing, I don't need to put that pressure on my acting to bring in that income, because then that's when stuff
100%.
gets stifled.
And it becomes desperation.
It becomes desperation,
versus-
and it's like, book me, please, because I got to make rent. Like I don't want to bring that into an audition. It's already too many other pressures.
It's that mindset of like, I'm only doing things to satisfy this creative thing. Money's a reality.
Definitely within the past year, it's been like a deep focus on gratitude and being in the moment, because another thing happens once you start gaining a little success. You book that job you've always wanted. The money comes into your account, and then it's like, now what? Like what are you really doing this for? Like once you have the money, once you have the booking, once people know your name, like then what? What are you doing this for? And I've been just sitting back, not saying I'm there. I still want a lot more. But I've just been looking back. It's like, okay, I booked the co-star, booked the guest star, booked the recurring. I booked my series reg on the pilot. And I found like that insatiable appetite still that munches like, well, we got to get this, and we got to get this, or we got to get more money in the account. And I just like checked that. I'm like, wait, that's never going to stop. So what's really keeping me happy? Why do I do this? I'm like, oh, because I feel alive acting. Cool. Let's just focus on that. I feel alive when an audition comes in and I get to build a character, take time out my day to like put this character on, figure out how he walks, how he talks. I come alive when I go see a play and see other homies killing it, or complete strangers just like pouring their art into the craft. I come alive watching a movie and like feeling something. So it's like focusing on that while you keep in mind the financial goals you want to hit, the career goals you want to hit, but like stay rooted to that why. And if it's because you love it, it makes you feel alive, keep chasing that and keep that at the forefront, because the money's going to come and go. The bookings are going to come and go. Your life is going to come and go. And I one thing I always think about is that when I'm on my deathbed, I want to look back and be proud of the way I live my life. And if it comes with a couple Oscars around my coffin or something like that, then cool.
Yeah.
But I know what's going to be the main thing is like that feeling like, wow, I really lived my passion. I really lived the thing that I love. I got to do it with the people I love. I made the connections, the memories. And I know at times that can be like, oh, foo-foo, but I got bills to pay and I got to make something of myself. But really, that's the only reason. Like we're here, like I didn't come down here, like I'm not living my life to chase money. I can't take that with me. Like it has to be a higher purpose, a higher reason for the things we do. And I think like that feeling that ignites you, make you feel alive, like getting a $60,000 check for an episode, like that make you feel alive in some type of way. But like when you're on stage and it's a packed audience, or even if it's 3 people in the audience, you're saying some words that really feel true, and you're going through this character's life, and you feel like, man, nothing else in the world matters than this moment right here. Like I want more moments like that to pursue. And the acting field, the rat race of trying to book, you can get thrown off of that. But like trying as much as possible to just remember that it's like you're doing this because it makes you feel alive. It makes you feel like you have a purpose, and it connects you to something higher. So just trying to stay rooted in that, and it's a constant reminder day to day. And I know you probably have a similar thing burning your engine.
Yeah, I love that. When you mentioned too, I think you nailed it when you said doing this with people you love, and you know, I think people say life's a marathon, right? It's a journey. When I think of that stuff, is they always say the climb to the top was so much more exciting than being at the top.
Waking up every morning, it's like we don't know what is gonna happen, and finding our purpose, it could be to be this Oscar award-winning actor, but it could also be to just make people smile, or
Go see the world.
go see the world, or just connect, or like enjoy nature, all of these
Come
things.
here, have a dope podcast.
Have a podcast and just, or, call your mom on the phone or whatever it is. It's like what makes us human, right? If we're artists and actors, our work is to reflect humanity and to bring voice to that, right? It's like we have to live too in order to do that, truthfully.
And I think it's you said ingredients, and it could take a long time. It's like the ingredients are what you and Jalen were just saying. It's working and living with people you love, you like, and having community.
And the rest will
that
follow.
are the ingredients.
I wish there was an alternate to Hollywood, where artists got together and we just made art for the sake of making art, and just let the industry do its clown. I don't know if you cuss on here.
Stuff,
It's clown stuff, because that's what it's proven to do. And every now and then you get like a gem, and you get like a real artist or something like Baby Reindeer or something that come out that's like actually like deep and meaningful and cool, or like a Shogun. But usually you're gonna get some clown stuff, because that's what they're all about. Because that's what's gonna sell. That's how you get like TikTok people taking over and stuff who have usually no talent or skill, but they're just famous for whatever they're doing. It's like, cool, that's not where art is going to be respected. So let me take it over here. Let me get with people that respect art and like make my own movie and make my own stuff, because that's what I've just been reflecting on.
I love that. No, I think you just, we need to use that clip in this. That's actually great. I did always say like Hollywood is like a casino.
Yeah.
That's what I always look at it like. It's like when you go in a casino, lose all your money and leave Vegas broke, and then you're mad at Vegas.
Yeah, no.
And it's like you nailed it, man.
Yeah.
That's right.
Vegas
That is
doing
the
exactly what
best
it's
way
meant
to
to do.
look at Hollywood. It's like, look, man, this is a cutthroat. All about money.
Yeah.
It's all a show. But if you know that coming in, don't be mad at us. If you win,
If you
like
win,
Vegas, hey, because when you do hit that jackpot, you're not hating Vegas.
Oh, no,
You're
you
like,
know
"This is the greatest place ever.
I'm moving here.
You're buying drinks for everyone. You're like, yo. So, yeah, I agree. That's who said that? K-Dot?
K-Dot,
That's the best way to look at it. Because I always said the casino thing, but I like that. It's like, bro, you knew the risk. Like, ain't nobody here's gonna panic. But I like that, man. Hollywood is a circus. It's a casino, man. It's just you go in, you throw your money in the slot, meaning you take a shot, get an agent, do some audition. Don't be mad if they don't pick you.
Right.
You didn't win, bro.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's
Your
no
number
one's
didn't
fault.
hit. It's no
It
one's
just
fault.
wasn't meant. It wasn't in the stars for you. But if it happens, just be grateful. But it's like a casino. It's like, you can't walk out of it. Like, you ever see people win jackpot? Be like, I told y'all.
Yeah, right.
And it's like, bro, you put a quarter in, pull the slot, and now you
Luck
act
hit.
like you. No, I knew. I put it in existence. I spoke it, and it happened. And
I saw the numbers on the sidewalk when I was walking over it. I saw it.
And maybe you're like,
Hey,
oh,
who knows?
maybe.
It's how this magic works.
So it's one of those things. It's like, who knows who's right, who's wrong? All we can do is make a judgment on what our perspective of the talent.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, maybe I love Kendrick, maybe someone don't. Maybe someone likes Drake, maybe I don't. And it's like, it's all subjective. And good for every one of them, that are making it. So, yeah, I like that, man. I think that's the way to maneuver and feel okay about it. You know? Instead of getting bitter and blaming, it's that casting director and it's that manager don't know my talent.
Yeah.
And it's all this stuff.
We all been there. We've all said
No,
that.
I get like that all the time, bro. I'll be like, no, they just don't know. And then I'm like, you're ridiculous that. Like, bro, even if you are great and getting overlooked, then keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that. Okay, so in closing this baby up, where we going now? What's the plan? What advice do you have for anybody who's young or old, that's thinking, man, I think I have what it takes to jump in that casino and win. What advice do you have for them?
Oh, my advice, if you got that itch that you want to act, or you think you can do it, go for it. Explore that passion for as far as you can go. Pick up a play. I know a lot of people say this. Pick up a play, read a play with some friends, put on your own show, practice monologues just by yourself, but just explore the craft. Fall in love with the craft and getting better, because that's what I'm reminding myself. It's like I've been acting since I was in 2nd grade, and I still feel like I'm a novice at times, and that's a good thing. But like, fall in love with, how do I get even better, even better? Make yourself your own competition. Don't worry about trying to beat everybody else, because then that just means you got to step on somebody to get better. You don't want that. Like, just be better for yourself. Learn a new accent. Figure out how to be even more vulnerable and truthful, but just get better at the craft and focus on that. And all that other stuff will fall into place.
That's great. All of that. And I would say, don't put your worth in the hands of somebody else. This industry it's a casino. It's a circus, right? And you are enough. You are enough. Whatever that means. Just at the end of the day, like, remember that you are here. You get to be here on planet Earth, and as easy as it is to get discouraged, because the reality is, it is a hustle for the most of us, right? It is a grind. It is a working those weird hour jobs and making it work. But if you really love it, go for it. And try to switch that competition mindset into community, because we really are all connected. And when we can bring that into our art, it's only going to make us all better, and it's going to make us shine. And I just think that once we can enjoy the process even more, we'll start to laugh, which is always great and a healthy thing to do in life. You are worthy. You got this.
I love it. Guys, thank you so much for coming and sharing your journey and your lives with me on our platform. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you. This was awesome. This is a super great way to start the day.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to close us out here. Key things I took away from this. Love. Love exists. True love exists. Love at first sight exists. We talked about differences. I mean, two different people from two different cultures, from two different walks of life. I talked a lot with them about the industry. So, sounded like we were industry bashing, mainly me. Sometimes I feel bitter, but no, not industry bashing at all. I think what we came to, what K-Dot said and Jalen talking about the industry, it's like a circus. I love that. I always say it's like a casino. There's something great about that, actually. So as much as we're saying there's some hard, bad things about the industry, it's actually exciting for any young people out there. The exciting thing is this. It's a big boy, big girl game. You're coming in and you're risking everything. You have to have that intensity in this industry, pretty much in all industries, but especially Hollywood. A lot of stuff is out of your control here, but it's like walking in a casino, right? You're not in control. You might know how to play the game. You might understand the game, but you cannot control the odds of the game. Right? A lot of this is luck. You could be prepared. You could do the work, and there's a lot you have to do. But at the end of the day, it may or may not happen for you, but what will happen is the journey. And that, I think, my friends, is the whole point of life. It's what's happening day to day in the moments. There is no destination. We don't know where we're going tomorrow, but what we know is where we're at right now. So I ask you to enjoy yourself, enjoy the moment, spread love, be of service, and I'll see you on the next one.
You should never stress about the problems you be facing. Everybody in the mud on the struggle trying to make it. Look into the mirror and you see the motivation. Then you step into the world and you find your inspiration. I'm finding inspiration, and once I get a hold of it, I'll never get complacent. Look into the mirror and you see the motivation. Then you step into the world and you find your inspiration.